Hello, everyone. The dramatic escalation moment that Putin is referring to when he continues his saber rattling, addressed mostly to the US, but also to anyone else who would listen, is the continued flurry of phone calls between Zelensky and Trump. So, what is this about? As a lot of people know by now, there is an agreement in progress between Israel and Gaza that is supposed to bring to a close this latest round of hostilities between the two. And Zelensky has been doing something interesting, which is basically telling Trump, see, didn't you negotiate this? Don't you think you could do something for us in Ukraine? Now, for all his inexperience as a politician, Zelensky knows that Trump is just a big idiot who is looking for compliments. He's fishing. He also cannot help but understand that this deal between Gaza and Israel is actually highly disadvantageous for both. Why? Well, for Israel, they are having to release what the press is calling Palestinian hostages. Actually, they're not hostages. They're political prisoners, not the same thing. So those are people who were caught either planning or carrying out act of terrorism in Israel. And they're releasing hundreds, whereas they're getting back only a few dozen of their own hostages who were indeed hostages, civilians taken during the infamous October 7th massacre. And, of course, the question comes up, how come the Palestinian prisoners that are coming home, hundreds of them, are all alive, whereas of the over 300 hostages taken by Hamas on October 7th, there are only a few dozen left alive. So that's the disadvantage to Israel. On Palestinian side, it appears, okay, they're getting their people home. Good for them. They're apparently getting some humanitarian aid in. Good for them. But there's also American soldiers that have been committed to go to Israel and oversee the ceasefire. That is not good. And the fact that Trump is overseeing all of that, or people who are making decisions for Trump, also can't be good. Because remember, Trump said he wants to turn the entire Gaza Strip into a popular resort. Also, if you look just from the past few months, I don't know about you, but I have yet to see one video clip, one credible video clip from Palestine in which the humanitarian aid, which is badly needed there, is being distributed truly to hungry women and children and the elderly. What I have seen is dozens of clips of very young, healthy, well-fed men, likely from Hamas, storming those trucks. So while the humanitarian is going in, it is unclear who is overseeing and making sure that it ends up with people who truly need it, people who truly are starving. So, like I said, this deal everybody is praising is not that great for either side. And so what Zelensky is doing and what Putin is worried about is he is purposely flattering Trump about it because he wants those Tomahawk missiles. And military experts around the world have already been talking about their multiple articles on the websites like the Institute of the Study of War and similar organizations talking about what difference it would make. And the question for a lot of people is, well, we talked about the Abrams tanks in the past, and we talked about F-16s. And I want to point out to everybody, there is no one specific weapon, no one specific thing, no one specific piece of technology that can just up and win the war. That is not going to happen. There are only things that can make a difference, that can help tip the balance one way or the other. And that is what is in play here when we're talking about the Tomahawks. Zelensky is trying to also get more air defense systems, and he's trying to put an emphasis on defense while staying in Trump's good graces, because what else is he going to do? We talked about the fact that Ukraine's sensibility in all of this is showing, because right now 40% of everything used in Ukraine's defenses is produced in Ukraine. So for all of Ukraine's attempts, for all of Ukraine's efforts to stay in the American good graces, to get superior defense systems like the Patriot systems, which they do desperately need, to get the Tomahawks, they are not holding their breath. They have learned the hard lesson in the past, what it means to wait and see if Uncle Sam decides to do something nice for them. So they're not waiting. They're continuing to develop. They're continuing to build. But meanwhile, it would be nice to get something out of Trump while he's in a good mood. And so we have the statement by Zelensky, if a war can be stopped in one region, then surely other wars can be stopped as well. Again, Zelensky is the man of the same generation as I am. So, which means he has similar education that I received. Which means when it comes to world history, subtracting all the Soviet propaganda we were fed, he's actually pretty decently healed in that area. And he knows that no, ending a war in one region does not mean ending a war in another region, because these are dramatically different circumstances, dramatically different regions, dramatically different history, dramatically different everything. But again, he's feeding these lines to Trump because Trump has something that he wants. And he's going to continue doing so until those Tomahawks are in possession of Ukrainian military with the finger on the button. Meanwhile, Russia continues its now established tradition of taking advantage of its allies. Yet another Indian, in this case a student, was captured by Ukrainian military because he signed up to fight in the Russian army in order to avoid drug charges. So this 22-year-old idiot, I don't know what else to call him because what he did was stupid, went to Russia, that's why he's an idiot, to study computer engineering 2 years ago. And then he was arrested on a drug charge last April. According to his mother, the charge was false. But you know what? He wouldn't be the first or the last. And so he signed up for the army to avoid going to prison in Russia, and promptly ended up at the Ukrainian front. Of course, the Indian Foreign Ministry says it's investigating, and so on and so forth. But again, Russia and India have been allies in this for a long time. And this is not the first Indian man who has been taken advantage of in this fashion, has been lied to, and has been hoodwinked into joining the Russian army. India, why are you allies with Russia? More to come.